everybody. It's Brooke. I hope you're having a great day. I would like to begin by saying welcome if you're new. We've had a lot of new friends join us, which is very fun. And if you're not new and coming back, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Secondly, I am wearing my glasses instead of my contacts today. So if you see my head appear under the camera, I apologize. I have to put my face right down, like up to it to see anything. The distance from my face to right here is right in the worst place. I can't see anything. So with that said, forgive me for any blundering or more blundering than usual. Anyway, I thought it would be super fun to do some embellishing in our gorgeous Spring Has Sprung Pretty Little Things journal. This is the one we've been working on in this series. It's the Altered Composition book with the soft spine. I will make sure that this playlist is linked down in the description, so if you'd like to see how it was made, you can follow along. It is made with a composition book, and I thought it would be fun to go through and do some jelly printed borders on some of these pages. Now, in hindsight, it would have made a lot more sense to do this before I bound it in, but there you go. I did, and here we are. So I'm going to try it. I don't know. Might end up with a mess. Might end up with a bunch of pages that I have to take out. We'll find out. It's only paper, right? So, yes, the edges are washi taped. That's fine. I can go right over the washi tape. I can go right to the edge of it. I'm just going to go for it and hope I don't smear paint all over the entire thing. The good news is with this book is if I want to, let's see, I don't want to do it on there, but say I want to jelly print on this page, the book folds like this, so I can actually take my clamps, sorry, and clip that, and then I can get to that page without too much of a mess, if you see what I'm saying. So that is a good thing. Now I have out 2 jelly plates. This one, I'm not sure how big it is. Let's see. You can see I've already been playing with my plates a little bit. This guy is 11 by 5.5. This guy is almost 7. I think it's supposed to be 7 by 4 or something. 7 by 3.5. So this one I'm sort of using as my palette. This one I'm using to put on the strips of paint for the edges of our comp book. I also have my brayer, and I have out this little flyer that came in the mail that I'm using as roll-off paper. You can't quite see that, but I can only fit so much stuff. The other thing that I'm using today are my Dilutions cocktail paints. I will link, I believe these are still available in a set. They're very neon, they're pretty translucent, and the colors are awesome. I haven't played with these for a while. I will say that the last time I played with them, like when I first got them, 2 of them smell terribly like mildew. Strawberry daiquiri maybe, and Island Parrot. It doesn't smell once it's dried on the paper, but when you open the bottles, it's kind of crazy. But I have enjoyed them. There are a couple colors that are a little on the blah side. This one is Desert Sand. This one is Fiery Sunset. This Fiery Sunset sounds like it'd be fun, but this one's kind of blah, in my opinion. I guess we all have different opinions, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and scoot these over. I have a couple stencils. I have a couple of texture plates to play with. These are Carabella Studio texture plates. This one is actually a texture plate from like Michael's that's made for clay, polymer clay. And then I have some stencils from Joggles. And I have some stencils from PM Artist Studio. Thank you again, Mariah. I won a drawing. Well, actually, Devin won a drawing and passed it on to me, I think, is how that happened. I was gifted that anyway. So that and some art foamy stamps. And, okay, then. You ready? You know I like to do a lot of layering on the plate. I don't do, if you haven't seen me jelly plate before, And yes, this is as clean as my plates ever get. I don't clean them. Um, I don't do one color or one layer and pull it and then do another layer and pull it. I layer it all onto the plate generally and then pick everything up with one pull. So I will be pausing the camera a lot during this just to let things dry. So if it's a little choppy, apologize, but I think that'll be the most efficient way to do this. So let's just see what we're going to do here. I want to put some on here. What should we do? Ooh, let's do tropical sangria and lemon drop. These do have a mixing ball in them, so you need to get them good and mixed up. I have found, because I've neglected them for quite some time, that they are bubbling up when I open them. Oh, guess I already relieved the pressure in this one. Put some of that up here. They're very liquid, as I said, and very translucent, but they are brightly colored, and I dig it. You know how I am lately with the crazy colors. All right, got a clean sheet ready to roll off on. Get a little mixture going there. A little bit here, a little bit there. Some of it I want to mix, some of it I don't. I'll roll some of that onto our palette and then roll off onto our roll-off sheet. Okay, I forgot the word for that. Let's use, oh, this is a fun mask. This is one of Joggle's. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. Now, we're only going to be using about this much of the plate because it's longer than our composition notebook, and that's fine. We'll just do some picking up. And I think what I'm going to do is roll across it. And then maybe I will grab, these are some scrap papers that I have. I'm going to pick up what's in the middle, pressing down really well into those openings, healing it up. Oh, that's kind of fun. I like that. And then we can do this side, trying to line up where the edge of the other one was. News alert, how exciting. Hope it's nothing terrible. And see, this is going to happen in the real journal too. My fingers are picking up a little paint, even though I'm being careful. There will be some little smudges. When I do that in my own journal and I get little smudges, I just either cover them up or I doodle around them. I don't really find it to be a huge problem. Okay, so now we've got that down. What if we put, we have anything, what will, we have the lemon drop on there, right? Let's go ahead and do some strawberry daiquiri. If I pass out, it's the one that smelled like mildew. Nope, not so bad so far. It did explode on me. So I'll just go ahead and put that over on this plate and roll that out a little bit. Roll this out. Finish rolling that. I'll roll it on here as well. And I'm just going to take my little clay impression thing and make some marks over there. This is nice. It's kind of like burlappy. And then we can take this off. And that ought to be interesting. Wipe the excess paint over onto my roll-off paper. I find these little booklets that come in the mail, it's like junk mail. They make great little art books. Once you've covered it all up with paint, then you can do other things. And I think on top of this, before it dries, I think I want to use an art foamy. Maybe we'll try this one. It's a bunch of little dots. And instead of stamping it off on this plate, I'm going to come over to this plate So we're actually just lifting some paint off. Just a little more texture in the background. Better get my fanny in gear because this is drying pretty quick. Do you guys find that your ring light gets hot? I don't know if it's just me or what, but it seems like it does. Okay, you guys, this is going to be the point where I'm going to let these dry for a few minutes. With this paint, it's so thin, I would say it's probably going to be about 5 minutes that I let this dry. So you sit tight, and in your world, I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, for this next layer, I've gotten out the Posca paint pens. Any old acrylic markers will do, acrylic pens, whatever you got. This just happens to be what I have. I also have these neon ones that I absolutely love. They're just a little translucent for this particular process. If I put these on the plate first and then put some layers behind them, they work really well. The Poscas are just, because they're not so neon, they show up a little better when you already have some paint down. So I think what I will do is I'm going to take some, what am I going to take? I'm going to take some bright pink because why not? I'm going to try it over here, make sure it's going. It sure is. And I'm just going to make some marks. Now, I don't want to go over where there's a whole bunch of paint kind of already built up because that will make the Posca mad. We don't want to make our Poscas mad. That would be unfortunate. We love them. So I'm just doing a little outlining, keeping in mind that really we're only going to use about this much of the plate. My Poscas are drying out. I use them an awful lot. Okay, so just do a little outlining. A little mark making. You can certainly do this layer first. I hadn't tried this with it being the second layer. Well, I guess technically this is like the fourth layer, but I hadn't tried this, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I might be sad. We'll see. The science of how the jelly plate prints works for me. Whatever you put down first on the plate is going to be your top layer, and then you're just building up from that, but you're actually building back. And that makes perfect sense to me, but making my brain understand it while I'm actually jelly plating is a whole nother thing. So I just play around a lot, and sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I really don't. So there's that. Let's go with some darker green. I'm drawn to the brighter green, but I think the darker green will show up more. Oh, it's a new one. Let's get that going. So to prime your Poscas is take a scrap paper and press it and hold it. I don't know. Can you see that? Scoot stuff in. There we go. So I'm just pressing the point down, and you don't have to pump it. You don't have to go crazy. You can just press it and hold it. You can, you can pump it if it makes you feel better. I don't think it's very good for the tip. So if you just press it down and wait a little bit, it's sucking the paint down into that felt tip. No, not yet. Come on there, Posca. We don't have all day. I got these fairly recently. I like them. They are 8, PC8K. Oh, it's starting to just barely come in. Just creep in. Like watching paint dry. Except you guys can't even watch it. There we go. Okay. Move that back over. And probably what I'll do is take my brayer and roll out that little puddle of green so it doesn't end up going someplace we don't want it. And so I'm just going to go in and make some little lines and rectangles and doodahs. You know, doodahs. It's the technical art talk again. Shocking, isn't it? And again, I'm kind of aiming for places that don't have a big paint buildup. And just making some little marks. Using the shape of the pen makes it a little easier on the jelly plate. You can certainly write and draw. It just sometimes drags because of the surface of the jelly plate. Just remember, if you're going to write a message, you need to write it backwards, because that is how it will get picked up. So there's that. And we got the pink, we got the green. How about some purple? Okay, this one's already going. Let's just get it primed a little bit. Just got that pump so we have some extra paint on there. And I'm just going to make some dots. By aiming for those places that don't have as much paint, there's more of this that will show, of this layer. And again, it will not mess up your tips. All right, so there's that. And then I think the last one I want to do is white, just because, I don't know, I like to. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll do black instead. Just as a contrast. Are you going to go? These are really old. I've had these for a long time. Okay, so then let's just put in some little X's. Just whatever random marks you feel like doing. Just like doodling on the page in your journal. I could have done this right directly into the journal, but I don't know, I thought it would be fun to play with a jelly plate. And this kind of breaks up the beginning of that white page syndrome. You know, some people have a really hard time jumping in on a white page. And so this way, there's already something on the border. You can cover it up, you can embellish it, you can do whatever you want to do, embellish around it, cover it with another piece of jelly printing, use the marks that I've made as sort of a jumping off point to further embellish the page. Just whatever makes you happy. Okay, so now this is why I rolled out that green paint, because I didn't want that to happen. And why my hands look the way they do. Okay, so I'm rolling that out, and I'm going to go off and let this dry. The Posca paints take a little bit longer to dry because they're a little thicker. So I will let this dry, and I will come back, and I think we're going to try to pull this. What? I know, exciting, isn't it? So don't go away. I'll be back in just a moment. Well, this should be good and dry by now. It's had a bit. So I've got out my white Artist Love paint, nothing fancy, just white acrylic paint. And I'm going to put some over here on our, actually, whoops, I lied. First I'm going to take our little palette over here, and I'm just going to kind of curl it up and crack the paint that's on there. It gives a really nice texture, and it lets the white paint kind of seep in and soften it up some for the pickup. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is put our white paint down on here just to make sure I get my brayer good and covered with paint before I put it onto this piece. Because if it's not all the way covered, your brayer can pick up the paint that's already on the plate. So this way I know the whole brayer is covered and I'm getting a good thin layer on here. And hopefully on here as well. Got some deli paper to pick that up. Move our roll-off sheet. Just going to go ahead and put our deli paper on there. Smooth it down. Grab our journal. And hope for the best. Wish me luck, you guys. We're going in. And I think I want this side. So I'm probably slamming that all in your face. And I'm sorry about that. It's a lot of stuff to maneuver. So I'm going to rub that, being careful not to grab the paint off the plate, which I did. And then I'm going to grab this one that we already did and layer it on top, lining up the top and the bottom as best I can. Oh, crud. Don't do that. Don't move it. So this way we just have, it makes the plate more consistent, the paint that you're taking off. I don't know why I lined up the top and the bottom. I'm lying. There's no real reason. I just did. Okay, so we get that all rubbed down. Give this one another rub. Let's pull this off and see what we're getting. Oh, paint had started to dry on the plate, so we're not getting all of it for sure. We're getting little bits. It's pretty. We're getting lots of little layers. Okay, so we got a little bit, not a ton, but that's kind of fun anyway. That was a scrap paper. Now let's see what we got on this guy. Oh, looks like we got this one more while the paint was wet. And while you're doing this, it may make your 2 pages that you glued together come apart some in the middle, but it's really not a big deal. You can just glue them back together on the edges and they'll be just fine. Oh, looks like we're getting some on this. Being careful not to smooch this around. Trying not to pick up a whole bunch of extra paint. Wow, look at that. Okay, I love that. I love that. We've got a lot of the marks that we made. We've got that background that we put down with the Dilutions paint. That's pretty cool. So I'll set that out of harm's way and kind of scoot this over. Let me get these Posca pens out of the way. Boy, have I got a lot of stuff out. Okay, let's see what we got going on over here. This was just sort of our mop-up paint. Sometimes these little palette pulls are better than the ones you get off the plate you're actually shooting to use. Ooh. Okay, that's fun. There are actually some pieces from the pulls I did earlier because, yes, I don't clean my plate. But isn't that pretty? That's a great piece of collage deli paper. Nice. I like it. Okay, let's go ahead and lay down the basis for another one. Again, I'm going to go right on top of this. I am fine with that. Doesn't bother me. What should we do on this one? Let's do some blue. This is Blue Hawaiian. And we'll go ahead. Wow, my hands are a mess. We'll go ahead and use quite a bit of that. And because this paint is so liquidy, you get really cool brayer marks in it. As you're rolling your brayer back and forth, you get texture just from the liquid in the paint. So that's kind of fun too. Whoop. Stop that. Okay, and then I think I will. This is one of my foamy stamp. And just go up and down. It's picking up some paint and depositing some paint. And now, again, we're going to have to wait for this to wait. No, wait for this to dry. Wow, yeah, I've totally forgotten how to make videos. Sorry, guys. We'll be back in a minute. Now that this one is dry, my next move is going to be to grab, where is it? This one is called Balmy Night, and it's kind of grayish blue. It's not quite a Payne's gray, but it's kind of muted. So, get that mixing ball going. And get some of that out on our palette. Steel gray. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's a good description. I'm going to roll that out on our palette plate. And grab one of these Carabelle Studios art plates. Gosh, I haven't used them in so long, I don't even remember what they're called. That's pretty bad, huh? And we'll put that down. Let's try to transfer some of that dark paint into that open area. Do it again. And these are just beautiful texture plates. Is that what they're called? God, that's awful. But they're just beautiful. You can see they're well loved. And they're just kind of random collage-y bits. And it makes interesting texture and background. So once again, we're going to have to wait for this to dry. This is not a quick process, but it sure is fun. While this layer is drying, I went ahead and flipped through the journal. And I don't want to put a ton of these borders in, just enough to make it interesting and something different. Where did we put the first one? There it is. Love it. And so I don't want to overwhelm the journal with it. I'll probably do a little stamping or stenciling in addition to this. And so I'm going to go ahead and I think I want to do this towards the back page. I'll clip those guys to get them out of the way. And then I think I want to do this page. So that's ready to go. Oop, my clip was sitting funny. There we go. That's good. And then I've got another spare page to put on the other half of the plate. This was the pull we got. Did I show that to you? Did I hold it up? Really very pretty. It's faint. But just the doodling through there or doing some journaling through there, because this is acrylic paint, you can write right over it. I just think that's going to be fun in a journal. So I'm using some spare composition pages as my, pull pages besides the journal that we're making. Okay, I think what I'm going to use this time is Island Parrot. This one's dry. I don't think this plate's dry, so we'll leave that one alone. And I think oh boy, I haven't used that one. And now I've gotten all painty. I think I better clean up my thumb before we go much further, just because I don't want to get that paint everywhere. I'm kind of already doing that. My nail tech is going to be mad at me. Oh, goodness. So I'm just going to brayer that out lightly. And I got out another art foamy, putting that on my roll-off sheet. Got out another art foamy that is letters. I love this one. And we'll pick up some of that paint and put it down. I'm going to be brave and try to put some over here. I don't know if it will work or if it will show. Don't know, but might as well try, right? Might lift up the paint that's there. That would be cool. Or maybe it'll do nothing. That's cool too. Whatever works for you there, art foamy. All right, so there's that. Once again, everything is dry. And if you kind of want to see a sneak peek of what's happening underneath there, again, my plate is dirty because that's how I roll. But you can look through from the back and kind of see what's on the plate. See all those different colors? On this side, it just looks green and blue and yellow. I did sneak in before it dried all the way and put in some lemon drop. Last minute decision. Decided not to turn the camera on just because, well, I'm probably making you dizzy with all the ons and offs. So that's where we are. Go ahead and do the same thing. And the old do as I say, not as I do. I'm using my palette to pick up my white paint instead of going directly onto this. I don't always do that. I should. It makes a lot more sense. You're likely to get better results. Once in a while, if you go straight on to this plate with your white paint, your brayer will hit your underneath layers and pick them up. That doesn't bother me that much because my under layers are so chaotic. But if you were doing one layer at a time, it might make a difference and make you sad. So there's that. Okay, let's get that all rubbed off. And I have this page that we've been doing. Actually, I think I'll use that second. Here's our journal. And I think I'm probably all up in your grill. I want not that big a strip. I want that much. Oh, I did it the wrong direction so that the parts I clip are not in the right place. Sorry about the reaching. There we go. And then we've got this guy. Which edge did we not do? This edge we did not do. And again, this would probably be a lot smarter to jelly plate before you assemble your journal. But you know what? What the heck? We'll rub those guys. I think on this one where we put the white, I'm going to go ahead and grab my burlap stamp and pick some of that up, because we might do a pickup with a different color. What? I'm just going to stamp this off on my roll-off book. That little booklet is coming together nicely. I'll show it to you when we're done. Kind of fun. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Again, a little spotty, but nice. I have a feeling the cleanup print when I clean off my jelly plate is going to be amazing. Ooh, we've got some really fun layers showing up. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going pretty slow. Just checking to make sure the paper hasn't started to tear. Not the end of the world if it does. But this composition paper is fairly thin. And I don't have these loose papers glued together, so it is just one layer. Oh, you guys, I love this one. Stop it. All right, look at that. Isn't that fun? I hope the one that goes into the actual journal, this one, is that cool as well. Let's find out. Some of the washi tape got covered, which is just fine. Although I have to say this is one of my favorite washi tapes in the whole book. Ooh. Kind of leaving a lot behind, but we're getting quite a bit. Yeah, I think the composition book is hanging out on the plate some, which happens. If your paper is really thin, that can happen, or not terribly condensed, you know, if the paper is kind of pulpy. And this is a Walmart composition book, so it's probably not the highest quality paper. I'm getting like tiger stripes. What's up with that? I like it. That'll be cool when we have a pickup print. Ooh. Oh, you guys, this is pretty. Look at that. That is a great border on a page. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, and we've got this one. We've got our brayer cleaned off. And then I think it's probably time to do a cleanup print on this guy. So let's just pick a color for fun. Oh, let me find another composition book page. I don't want to do it in the journal itself. Let's just, I've got this. Just one of the loose pages that's come out. When I've been deconstructing various composition books. This one is Tropical Sangria. This is a crazy color and I like it. And roll that out. I put way too much on because that's how I am. When you're working with a couple different sizes of jelly plates at the same time, it's really easy to sort of get out of control with how much paint each one needs. But it's okay. It's only paint. And Let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for something to do our palette with. We've got this. Okay, so I just grabbed another scrap piece. And we've got this. And this is taller than our composition page. So maybe we'll do it across this way. Just for fun. Because that would be super fun for journaling on too. Get them both good and rubbed. Make them both feel loved. Now sometimes I find it works better if you pick your plate up and remove the plate from the paper instead of the paper from the plate. I don't know why, but sometimes it just seems to work better. Maybe not this time, of course, because make a liar out of me. I think maybe we've got a lot of pretty thick layers on that plate. And I think my pink layer was too thick, although it is doing something fun. A lot of the old crunchy bits that were left on the plate are getting picked up, which is nice. So just little random areas of color and texture. You just never know what you're going to get, do you? So that's kind of fun. Probably freaking the camera out. I like that. That's kind of nice. And let's see if we got anything on our little scrappy page. I did these with spray inks, Dilution spray inks. Yeah, no. Didn't really make me that happy. Didn't really work that well. Oh boy, this one might be super cool. As soon as I say something, it stops picking. Or stops lifting, rather. I do think that I put that pink layer on too heavy. But still a lot of paint left on there. And look how cool looking that is. Can you see the cracks? Part of that is when we did the stamping with the texture plate, but part of it is from bending the plate and cracking that paint. That is pretty nifty. This is a great page for collage. All right, then, you guys, I'm going to clean up and we'll do one more page in the journal, and then we will call it a video. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a miracle if I've actually paused it every time I thought I did and restarted it. This could be complicated. I think this is going to be the last page we do in the journal, so that way we have, I think, 4 borders in there, and that'll be cool. Oh, and let me show you this. That's right. Cleaned off the plate on the other half of that composition book. So this was the first layer we pulled off, and then this was the second layer that I pulled off with lemon drop paint. Isn't that fabulous? I just think that would be such a fun journal page. It could be the center of a signature. It could be half on one side and half on the other. I don't know. That could be a lot of fun. And look how much of the Posca we picked up. They're the little X's that we made in black and the purple polka dots. That was the stuff that was still hanging on the plate. And there's still some on here. And again, I am just fine with that. So let's just do some basic layering because I think this has gone on for a long time. So I think I'm going to use this guy, another joggle stencil. Not sure it's a mask, but oh, maybe we have used this, but that's fine. And let's grab some, let's grab some lemon drop. This is getting very low. I'm going to run out and be sad. So I'm just going to squirt it right on the plate. And I'm going for kind of a yellow and green deal for this particular pull. It may not end up exactly like that, but that's okay. I can shoot for it, right? by the time I layer so many different things, I don't ever really know what's going to happen. And that's kind of why I love jelly plating so much. Okay, so we'll roll off that excess. Pull off the stencil. And I'm just going to take my stencil over to my roll-off booklet. Oh, don't let me forget to show that to you when we're done, because it's kind of looking cool. And that's about as much stencil cleaning as I do when it's acrylic paint. And yeah, we gotta wait for it to dry again. I think the yellow has dried. And now I've got my island parrot. That's still mixed up pretty well. And I think I'm gonna put it again, breaking the rules because I'm a rebel. Just put a little bit on the plate here and here. I think that's probably enough. I was going to do one more here, but I don't think I need to. And just spread that out some. And then roll that off my brayer. And this art foamy is made to use on the gel plate because it's right side up. So, well, it's not, I'm sorry, it's backwards. So that when you stamp it and then pull it, it ends up being right side forward. Does that make any sense? God, I forgot how to make videos. I'm telling you, it's 3 days and I'm a hot mess. The struggle is real, you guys. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to take some of this paint over to my roll-off page. I might put some onto my palette that I'm not using at the moment, but that'll be a fun little remnant for the next time I pull. And once I get that done and it dries, I will be back again. Now, I said we were going to pull it next, but I can't help it. I got to do it. I have got the Blue Lagoon, which I have shaken up. And I'm just going to put a few little circles. I can't help it. I didn't want to put another layer. It's just how I am. And then I got Blue Lagoon on me. Jelly plating is not a clean endeavor. Ooh, and I moved the stencil. Darn it. So I'll just put a little bit there. Move the stencil all over. So that's going to be smeared now. I'm sad. Not a good job. Maybe what I'll do is roll that back out and do this. There we go. That might work. And I'll roll that off on our roll-off sheet. Okay, really, you guys, this will be the last thing we have to let dry, and then we'll pick the whole caboodle up. I'm back with my white paint. We're really going to pick it up this time. So here's my white paint. Yes, I'm breaking my own rules and just sticking it on the plate. Not a ton, because we don't want a thick layer. We want a thin layer. And I've got the journal all set with the page open that I want to use. The top part seemed to have more of all the colors still left. So that is where I'm going to put the journal page. And then I'll put the extra pickup page on the bottom half, this part. That looks like a pretty nice thin coat. Roll that off. And I'm going to grab our journal. Again, it's probably going to go up in your face. Sorry. And I'm going to put that much of it on. Give that a rub. And I think this is going to be a super nice addition to the journal. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe it's not, but I think it'll be fun. And put that down, pick that up. Maybe I'll grab one. Oh, now I've got my fingers all in the paint. Maybe I'll grab this scrap paper and pick up the stuff on the end so we don't waste it. That'll be fun. Jelly plating is all about the fun, you guys. You got nothing to lose. Just some paint and some paper. And a lot of time, because if you're like me, once you start, you can't stop. I haven't jelly plated in a super long time, so this has been fun. Oh, didn't get a ton, but we got a little bit. Look how fun that is. That bright orange and green. Go ahead and try this side. Paint might be too dry now, but that's okay. The next time we jelly plate, we will find it again. It's like a little archaeological dig. If we get any more. Let me go ahead and give the edges of this notebook paper a little rub, as long as I've got it covered. And we didn't get much there either. Paint was too dry, I think. Got a little bit. All right, let's look at the main attraction here. See how that went. It's kind of hard to turn the whole plate over with both the journal and the other piece of composition paper on there. Ooh, I see some pretty colors. I do. I don't know if you guys can see it as I'm peeling it up. Back to that, I'm wearing my glasses thing, so I can't really see what you're seeing. Forgive me. Sometimes you got to take the contacts out and let your eyeballs rest. Ooh, I hope the journal page comes out this nice. Because look at that. Isn't that a fabulous border? Got a little pink and orange. We've got our blue dots. Love it. That one came out really well. Really bright and pretty. Okay. Now for the main attraction here. Let's see what we got. Actually, now we can kind of turn the plate over. See if we get a good pull from that. I say that while making a total mess. Okay. Hopefully some of this leftover Posca paint, I don't know if you guys can see it through the plate, but we had some of the Posca doodles. We had some of the pink and orange original paint, like the first layers we laid down, and that would be super fun if those come through. So let's hold our breath. Ooh, some of it is. You just stick to that paper there, mister. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. No, you stick. Yeah, it says no, I don't think so. We tried. So I went a little further into the page than I meant to. I hate to cut into that much of the journaling space, but it'd be very easy to layer a journal spot over this, pick up the colors, and just kind of layer over it so it doesn't have to take up so much space. Collage is a beautiful thing. Ooh, this might be my favorite yet, you guys. Let's get that out of the way. Oh, that's nice. Let me hold that up. Hopefully you can see it. We've got a little bit of all the colors. Some of our original oranges and pinks, some of the Posca paint we put down, the blues and yellows and greens that we just did. This is why I don't clean my plate, because this rocks my world. Just saying. Yep. I am pleased with the pages we did. Let's go back and look at the other ones so you can see what we got done. I know it takes forever when you're waiting for it to dry in between, but I think the results are so worth it. Isn't that fun? Look how beautifully the Posca came through in those neon dilutions paints. Yummy! Let's see. Where else did we do it? Oh, I've got the book all in an uproar. There we go. I think we did at least one in each. That's one we just looked at. We did one in each signature. Doesn't look like I splattered too much paint throughout, so that's super good news. Oh, okay. Oh, nope, that was just a little flake. Oh, yeah. And there was that one. Yeah, those are beautiful borders, you guys. I think those are really nice additions to this journal. Just as a jumping off point. Something different. Something you may not want to do yourself because, well, it takes some different supplies and it's really messy. So if this comes to you as your forever journal, then you have some jelly plating done. Cool. All right. So let me real quickly show you our roll-off book so far. Again, this was like an American, yeah, it was an American Express flyer. And I get, I don't know, 4 a week or something. It's crazy. And it's not done yet, but it's just rolling off the excess paint. The Dilutions paints are so translucent, they don't do a good job covering stuff. But the next time I jelly plate or use paint, I'll use this again and the layers start building up. Isn't that fun? Where just a little bit peeks through. Love it. All different colors there. I think I actually cleaned off the palette on this one. Oops, some of the pages have stuck some because I'm not necessarily great about letting the pages dry. We did that one today, testing the, or getting the pens to go. A little bit there. That was when I was playing with the spray inks. It's nice looking, but I'm not convinced that those spray inks cannot be reactivated. Like if you go over them with liquid, they might come back. So, I don't know. I know that there's a way to do it. I just was not enjoying it that much. And there's that one. And then there are those two. So it just needs a little more attention. And this will be a very cool little art journal background page. Not page, book. All right, you guys, I think we've probably been going 100 hours. I'm going to come back one more time, do a little stamping and other embellishing on some of those pages. And I don't know, we're getting there. She's getting to be kind of fluffy. I like it. You guys looking for a spring journal? This is your girl. All right, thanks so much for hanging out this long and putting up with all the starts and stops and looking at my hands this way. And I will see you guys again really soon.